Honorable Men Discord, a 1-year-old baby named Cohen Wiley was killed in a Mississippi Walmart parking lot by a police officer. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new, I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get straight into it. So, I have only a few things queued up. And this is regarding an incident that took place on Sunday in Mississippi. There was a 1-year-old baby boy who was shot by a police officer who was responding to a Walmart call about stolen diapers. All right. And allegedly, when that officer and officers arrived, the alleged suspects were in their vehicle or got into their vehicle and were trying to leave the scene. And in the process, allegedly almost struck the officer, which caused him to use his firearm. But let's watch what I have queued up and I'll talk about it further.
Window and bullet hole in the windshield. The aftermath of a deadly police shooting in Senatobia, Mississippi that resulted in the death of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley. The shooting sparking outrage.
I'm more angry because the situation that took place really was unnecessary. What I'm hearing from what happened, it was unnecessary.
According to investigators, the shooting, which took place Sunday in this Walmart parking lot, occurred when officers responded to a shoplifting call involving 2 adults and a child. Authorities say the 2 adults, now identified by the family's lawyer as the boy's mother and her friend, tried to get away, driving toward and nearly hitting an officer. Another officer then firing at the car. In this video, officers can be seen running. One witness telling a local reporter of the 2 adults. One was carrying the child, the other a box of diapers.
Policeman shot, open fire in a public setting over allegedly some Pampers.
Investigators say the trio ended up at a local hospital where the 1-year-old was pronounced dead. One of the adults suffering critical injuries. No officers were injured. The family of Cohen Wiley now distraught and demanding answers.
I don't know anything right now. My grandson gone. I just want justice.
Tonight, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is now investigating the shooting. George Solis, NBC News. A shattered window and bullet hole in the...
And this is how the Walmart looks at the moment. You have police officers in riot gear because there are people out there protesting.
Hey, ladies, step back, ladies. All the ladies, step back. Hey, come on, black man. Come on. Step up to the front. We don't send our women to fight out there. Hey, this was my buddy.
I'm Commissioner Sean Tyndall with the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety oversees 11 different divisions, including the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations. In 2022, legislation was passed that required the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation to investigate all officer-involved shootings in the state of Mississippi. As part of that legislation, once that investigation is complete, our files are turned over to the Mississippi Attorney General's office, and they will review and make a determination as to whether or not to present that case to a grand jury and whether or not that trial against any officers would proceed after that point. This was done to bring independence to the process, one where the public could trust the process knowing that it was independent from local agencies. Mississippi Bureau of Investigation policy now dictates that once that investigation is complete, our entire file, as well as any evidence collected, body cam footage, dash cam footage, surveillance footage, will also be available to the public as part of a public records request. The purpose for that is because we believe that transparency creates accountability, and with accountability, we're able to maintain the public trust. Those policies and procedures will be followed in this case as well. To make no mistake, this is a very tragic situation. I want the public to be assured that the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation will conduct its independent investigation We have 5 agents working on this case, gathering statements, gathering evidence, and working diligently to prepare a file to present to the AG's office. I would ask that the public maintain patience as much as possible. And I know this is a very frustrating time, but maintain patience as this process is done. And keep in mind that it's important for us to be able to interview witnesses without threat of intimidation. And one of the things that we don't want to have is witnesses that are afraid to come forward out of intimidation. So it's important that we keep civility during this process so that we can get to the bottom of it and we can analyze all the evidence and then ultimately make it available to you all. And again, I understand your frustration. Unfortunately, these incidences have occurred all over the state of Mississippi. And over the last several years, NBI has done numerous investigations. And in all those cases, the ultimate findings were made available to the public. And so I want you to be assured that it will be a thorough investigation and it will be one where transparency is there.
All right. Let me say this after listening to that. First of all, rest in peace, Cohen Wiley. Didn't even get a chance to experience his full life. I need more information on this. I'm not going to say that theft of Pampers justifies a death. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What I'm hoping out of this is that there's no camera footage of the family actually stealing the diapers. All right? Just so they don't embarrass themselves. All right? Just so they don't embarrass themselves. Because understand, with the investigation, I know someone yelled out, oh, how long will it take? Well, they're going to have to pull the cameras. And I'm pretty sure Walmart has cameras facing the parking lot. The next thing I hope that doesn't come to revelation is that that you could see the vehicle actually accelerating with an officer in front of it. And by no means am I justifying the young boy losing his life, but we just saw something similar to this with the protests, or you could say those that were disrupting ICE agents. All right, we saw that happen to the lady who accelerated, and I didn't believe that she deserved to lose her life either. But just understand, if video shows that officer was in the path of the car whilst the car was accelerating, the officer's going to get off. The officer's going to get off. This is nothing new. Don't be surprised. Don't start rioting if the video comes out showing that the officer was in the path of the car. All right. Next thing I have to address is, does Walmart hold accountability for this? Because Walmart's supposed to have their own loss prevention security, LPS, loss prevention security. They're supposed to have security usually at the front to check receipts. Now, who made this call? Was it that serious over a box of Pampers? Was it one box of Pampers? Was it two? And again, that doesn't justify the life that was lost, but this just makes no sense. $1 million company, and it's probably probably bigger than $1 million company. I haven't looked up the value of the worth of Walmart, but over Pampers, at best you take a photo, you go back, as once again, loss prevention, whoever's in charge of doing the cameras and investigating, at best you could look up those individuals' photos if you thought that they stole. If you have actual video of them taking the Pampers and trying to maybe pass through one of the cashier lines, if they did in fact steal, which I don't believe it was said that they stole. I'm seeing things online saying that one of the occupants in the car actually presented a receipt. I don't know how true that is. That's why I can't speak on it. So allegedly that person presented a receipt. In any event, whatever caused Walmart to single out that particular family, that particular party, that particular vehicle needs to be explained. And I would assume that it's going to be explained through camera footage, because how did the officers know which people to approach, which vehicle to approach. Which is why I agree with the commissioner saying that an investigation has to happen. It's just too early for me to speculate and say what took place. It's just too early. I don't agree with the baby losing its life over Pampers, which is why I have the thumbnail that says trigger happy. I do believe there's good and bad law enforcement. I do believe there's some law enforcement that are eager to use their firearm. They may never publicly say that, but they're eager to use their firearm because, shooting ranges are just not enough for some of them. For some of them, shooting ranges just aren't enough. They want to get out there and they're itching for an opportunity to reach for their sidearm and use it. I don't know if this is the case, all right? But it's just me personally, there's too little information at this time for me to speak on this, especially to speak on it from a place of outrage. I'm outraged by the loss of life, but I need to know more. What happened exactly? Because they showed police officers running away. It was more than one police officer. They're going to have body cam footage. I need to see that. It's just too early. For those of you that jumping the gun, if you will, on this, I would just advise you to wait for the body cam to see what exactly took place. I'm not saying don't be outraged at the fact that the child lost his life. I don't even know what the protocol is with law enforcement. I think it is reckless to actually take your firearm out in a parking lot with hundreds of pedestrians going to their vehicles, grabbing shopping carts. I don't think that's the best solution. But again, I don't know how the police officer was positioned. I need to see the body cam. I need to see the photo from Walmart. Do I think Walmart should have been calling the police? Absolutely not. So this is why people are protesting in front of Walmart. I blame Walmart for making a call, wasting police resources for diapers. This could have been prevented at Walmart. To me, it started with Walmart because they should have let their security, if they had security, take care of that. If they didn't have security, they should run back the cameras, take photos of those people, and then be on the lookout for next time they try to come in to Walmart, because most likely they live in the area and they're going to be repeat shoppers. But to call the police officers for diapers is just ridiculous. All right, so I would be outraged at Walmart. Being outraged at the police officer, I understand the outrage because he's the one that fired his firearm, so I would be outraged at that police officer, but I still want to see body cam. Because again, whether we all like it or not, if he was in front of the vehicle or in the path of the vehicle, with the body cam showing that he was giving commands and they accelerated, but I don't know the protocol of police officers, so don't get upset at me. Don't look at me like, oh, you're defending the police officer. I just need to see more. Another thing I need to say is, why was a toddler in the front seat? And I'm not going to be biased to things that I don't agree with. Let me just be clear about that. So I'd like to hear from you in the comments about, your thoughts. But for me, as a parent, I'm speaking as a parent, not as somebody with the channel. As a parent, I would never have my toddler in the front seat. That just would never fly. I don't even care if it was like, oh, we just going around the corner. I don't play those games. The toddler has to go in the back. He has to be strapped in the seat. He or she has to be strapped in the seat. Never would I allow anyone to have a toddler just sitting on their lap in the front seat. Because if I'm not mistaken, the toddler was in the front seat. If I'm wrong in that, then just disregard that. Again, I need more information on this. But it was said that the toddler was held up in a video that I came across. They said the toddler was actually held up, shown to the officer, look, I don't have anything, and they raised the toddler. I don't know how true that is. I need to see more. I would probably most likely come back with a second video when there's more facts, and then I'll have a stronger opinion on all of this. But right now, this is my initial fresh opinion on this, after looking at what was available on social media regarding this. But Walmart did not need to call police officers for diapers. I think that's just ridiculous. There should be a certain threshold dollar amount where you involve the police officers when it comes to theft. But that's my thoughts on this. What's your thoughts? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.